starting out with a base from Cover FX. This is a mattifying primer with anti-acne treatment. I don't have acne, but it's a mattifying primer, so I'm going to use it. As you guys know, I do have really oily skin, so I'm just going to apply that to the areas I get oily. For foundation, I'm going to use something that's super light on the skin, and it's the Naked Skin Weightless Foundation from Urban Decay. As usual, I'm just brushing it onto the skin with a ZOEVA Face Curve brush. 112 is the number. Now that I have that all applied to the skin, I'm using a beauty sponge to press that into the skin. And this one's from Real Techniques. So the one thing that I really learnt at the Main Addicts University seminar that I went to is that you need to use a cream then a powder. That will create duality and it will create long lasting makeup. So what I'm going to do is use my Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate Intensity 1 palette, and I'm going to use the white shade, and that's going to be my cream highlight. As you can see, I'm just using my fingers because this does better work the product into the skin, especially a cream product. And I'm just putting this wherever I think I'm going to put a powder highlight later on. Then for the contour part, I'm going to use the darker shade and just sculpt out different places around the face. For this, I'm going to use my concealer brush from Sigma in F75. For this, you don't have to have an expensive palette. You can use a darker cream, foundation, or anything that can deepen your complexion. I'm just using this because I recently just got it and I'm very excited to try it. So I'm going to contour the nose as well, and with that you just want to bring it into the eye. And you want to bring it in as close as possible on the nose because this is how your nose is going to look even smaller. Okay, and then for the cheeks, I'm going to use a angled contour brush. This one is from MAC. I've had it for years and the number has rubbed off, but it's a 168. Yeah. And I'm just going into the product. I've scooped out a little bit onto a palette and I'm just working my brush into that. And you just want to create, we'll start bronzing up the face with this. And so the reason why I added the highlight on the cheeks first is because it can blend better into the bronzer. Whereas if you put bronzer first, or a dark shade first, you put highlight on top, it sort of defeats the purpose of that blending. Just really work that into your hairline because it can look a little bit crazy. And then with your sponge, you just want to blend all of that in so that it looks like it all melts into one. So as I was speaking about before, using a cream product and then a powder product on top will create more of a long-lasting, long-wearing makeup. So on top of the shimmer, I'm going to use a powdered highlight and I'm going to set that with that. And I'm just taking a small brush to do this. This is from Sonia Kashuk, and it's just like a blending brush, but you can use any blending brush because I know Sonia Kashuk's brushes just disappear when they go on sale. Every time they're released, they're just gone, so I'm not even going to try to tell you where you can get them. So as you can see, that shimmer is sticking to that product really well. I'm just going to colour those. And then as always, just blend it out, blend out the edges so that it can be seamless and you can't see where it stops and starts. Now with another angled brush, this is a large angled contour F40 from Sigma, and I'm using my favourite taupe sort of shade at the moment, and this is the sculpting powder in medium from KEVYN AUCOIN. This stuff is just amazing. Like, it glides on perfectly and it blends out amazing. So what I do is just get the angled part of the brush, just the tip, and I'm just going to place that right in the contour. And with the whole brush, I'm just going to push that into the hairline, just on the outer edges. This is another really interesting thing I learnt from Sir John, and this is if you're going to use a coloured eyeshadow, you want the base to be similar to the eyeshadow colour that you're using. So what I would usually do is just use a MAC paint pot all over the lid and just go in with the eyeshadow. But it's interesting to know that if you use the same colour base as the eyeshadow that you're going to use, it is going to turn out much more deeper and more pigmented. So that's what I'm going to do today. And I'm just going to use the Tom Ford palette, this colour here. And I'm just going to apply that to the lid with the same Sigma brush. Now, as you can see, it's still my lid. I haven't covered it with anything. And as I said before, you don't have to use anything expensive. You can just use a cream foundation to do this, a cream concealer, something darker that's going to match the eyeshadow that you're going to apply later. I'm just using the diffused crease brush from Sigma, the E38, and just blending out that cream product. And then I'm just going to go in again and just darken that colour. To set that, I'm just going to use the KEVYN AUCOIN sculpting powder, and I'm going to use a large shader, E60, to pat that onto the eyelids. And this is just going to set the colour. It's quite a similar colour, so you know, just going to pop. And this is great if you're in a rush or you have no idea what to do for your eye makeup, and all you've got in your bag is like your bronzer and contour shade or whatever. You can just do this and you're good to go, like easy. So I'm just going to take the KEVYN AUCOIN powder and the same diffuse crease brush and just blend it out into the crease. And yep, again, this is saving brushes because I'm using all the same brushes. I'm not, you know, taking out like 10 different blending brushes and 10 different shader brushes. I'm just using the, you know, bare minimum, reusing the same brushes. And I also love this look, like the monochrome look. I just love, you know, accentuating different features with the same colour, and it creates a really nice effect. And I also do have a monochrome one where I use like burgundy colours, a monochrome tutorial I should say, and I'll link that just down here somewhere, maybe here. You can click that and you can go to my other tutorial. But finish watching this one first. Alright, I think we're set, actually. So I'm going to repeat that on the bottom lid. I'm just going to take a flat definer brush, E15, and just load it up with that Tom Ford colour and just put that in there, the lower lash line, and also connect it to the upper lid as well. So once we've done that, I'm going to take a ZOEVA Luxe Define Crease Brush 224 and again the KEVYN sculpting powder, and just swirling my brush in that and just going to apply that to the bottom lid. And it's going to just, you know, stick straight onto that Tom Ford colour, the Tom Ford shade, and then yeah, it's going to blend down as well. Okay, so I think that looks good. Yes. I'm just going to line the waterline with a white pencil from MAC. This is Fascinating, the ILLUMINATE, and I'm just going to put that in here. So I'm just going to finish off my brows, and of course using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow and my ZOEVA 322 brow line brush. And the colour I'm using in the dip brow is medium brown. This is nothing new, just, you know, doing the same thing as I usually do. Outline the brow. Don't you just feel like once you have your brows on, you have your life together? Yes. There's one thing that's missing that is like holy grail in most people's makeup routine. Can you guess what it is? Yes, you're right. It is that I haven't concealed underneath my eyes yet. So I'm going to do that. And you're probably thinking like, oh my god, she's just going to ruin all this blending that she's done. But no, I'm going to show you how I'm just going to conceal small parts of the face instead of concealing, you know, that whole triangle. And it's going to look much more natural. To do this, I'm going to mix both the medium and light shades from Cover Effects, the cream concealer. And I'm going to show you how it's going to look very natural. So I'm taking a classic shader brush from ZOEVA, the 232. And I'm just going to mix those two colours together, those two shades. And I'm just going to apply it here. Then I'm just going to take the same sponge from Real Techniques and press that into the skin. To set that, I'm using another Sonia Kashuk brush. It's like a flat, sort of fluffy brush. And the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. And I'm just going to lightly dust it underneath. And I'm also just going to dust it in those areas where I tend to get oily, because you must be thinking, girl, she's oily. Why ain't she powdering everywhere? So now that that's done, I'm going to go back into the KEVYN sculpting powder and just taking a blending brush from Sigma, the E25, and just going to go over that nose contour. Just super lightly, just to set it into place, like I did with everything else. Also, if you follow me on Snapchat, you would have seen that I got a huge package from L'Oreal. Thank you so much. And I'm using the Volume Million Lashes from L'Oreal today. But yeah, if you don't follow me, it's gonna be right down here. That's my username. You can follow me, guys. I post some really riveting stuff. You know, like my dog deliveries, me singing. It's really interesting. So with this look, I feel like you could probably get away with not using lashes, but I have no lashes, so I'm going to apply a small pair. These are Whispie Me Away from VELOUR. Who else but VELOUR? VELOUR. I love these lashes because they just add like the tiniest bit of volume and definition to your lashes. They're like full on like bam, whoa, she's wearing lashes. It's just like, oh, that's nice. She's wearing lashes. Not too crazy. Wow, you don't even realize how much lash you actually wear when you put on small lashes. You're like, oh my god, I must look like I'm ready to take off. To set the whole face, I'm going to use Smashbox's Photo Filter Creamy Powder, and I'm just gonna dust it on just those areas underneath and where I tend to get a bit oily. I know I applied the Laura Mercier translucent, but I just want to apply a pressed powder because pressed powders add a bit more coverage. I'm going to try Sepia from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I don't know if it goes with the colouring of what I have, so I'm going to try it, and then if I don't like how the colours go together, I'll change it up.